Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, Craig. Welcome. Welcome to Experience. Thank you, Minds. Appreciate, embrace, Allison, and anticipate, Mona, tension. So experience, appreciation, embrace, and anticipation. Noticing the different tensions each of those words create as you hear them, as you speak them, and as you feel them. It is this invisible force, which is the tension. What is it you want to experience today? Create it in the silence. I'm creating a simple hug, an embrace, and all that goes with that. I'm anticipating that. I'm embracing that choice, that experience, that creation. And I'll be in the tension of that. What do you anticipate?
I'm anticipating an awesome day.
Hmm.
That's my intention as well.
Hmm. Thank you.
Drill.
Good morning, beautiful souls.
Hmm. Good morning, Cinderella.
Mm,
Good morning, Cinderella. It's very nice to see you today.
Thank you, Mona. It's very nice to see and hear you today, too. Hi, Hines, Craig, Allison. Good morning, host of the most, Jesse.
Hmm. Thank you. Hmm. As I give each of you a hug,
Mm,
I don't need to wait for the one I'm anticipating. I'm in doing it. I'm including it. And then I'll stay in the tension to see it, to realize it. That is at times, that is a very small step. And this time it is a big step. So we are in the tension of experience, appreciation, embracing, and anticipation. We have a simple hug. And we have a marvelous day. And an amazing day. An amazing day planned to just unfold. What else do you want to just unfold?
I see this word hug. It's captivating me. I'm getting here, and I'd love to hear what does that bring up for everyone. Hug. What is a hug, Mona and Hines and Craig? How does it come about and be? How do you receive it? How do you give it? How do you experience it? And please share, let it be free. Hug.
love. Two people sharing energy.
Mm. Mm.
Thank you, Heinz. What I get with that is the placement of the hearts beating, pounding into each other, against each other, through each other, in an infinite loop, a circle, a connection, an embrace. What is mine is yours, what is yours is mine, just as it releases in, melts to, and is one, and two,
Mm.
and more.
I was listening to a psychiatrist talking about energy yesterday, and he was quoting and remembering a quote from a physicist who I'm sorry, but I can't remember. And the physicist was explaining the quantum field. And at the end of the physicist's talk, he said, the quantum is formlessness that gives form. And so, as we were all together with Sandrell being the last one to come in, I was aware again of the energy that we build when we're here. And so for today, it was a new awareness for me, just how often, with how many actions, we move in and out of the quantum. And the hug was the form that came out of the formlessness. And the marvelous day was the imagining a form that came out of the formlessness. And it just emphasized for me again how much love there is in the silence, and that it's infinite. And so abundant.
And always there to embrace.
Hmm.
Available anytime to experience,
Hmm.
to appreciate, and to anticipate.
Hmm.
So that we can give and receive.
Hmm.
Thank you, Allison, for hugging me with that experience of energy. When you hug, you're letting me know that when I embrace this thing called life, I'm bringing unto me that which I hug. And then that hug, it's a reciprocation of a life form hugging to extend expression, and I get to express it. In gratitude to yield forth expression that could otherwise be missed or not experienced if each one of us, like, we don't embrace what we receive and then yield it out in hugs. We give in hugs, we receive in hugs. You ever hug somebody that wasn't really sure they wanted to be hugged or didn't want to hug, but a real hug? There's this lady at my church that I would make sure I got to her before the day was over. And it was like, okay, and now my hug. She gave the best hugs. Like, here's all that life has to offer in these arms. Hug. and you just surrender like a little baby right into her arms. But you hugged her back like with the same, because you didn't want to, you wanted to give her as much as she was giving you. See what your hug did for me? Hugs. My daughter came to visit the other day, and it was like, oh, let me get in the house. Everything put down. And then all arms went wide open. Hug. Now I can hug you. My arms are empty.
Mm. I also find quite often that, especially when I'm getting a surprise hug, then there's all of a sudden more abundance to share with the other person. It's like more of you gets ignited.
It's interesting this is coming up today. Wow. Because hugs are the reason that I show up here every day. And I'm kind of amazed. I'm looking around the room here, and there's not one of you that is in this room that I've actually met in person and had a physical hug with. But there's been hundreds of virtual energetic hugs. That I've had with each one of you. You've all been really empowering. If you'd ever met me in person, you know that I'm a hugger. And And at this point, I'm emerging and recovering from an experience where the energy of a home and family that I had established and built for 30 years became really toxic and even hostile. To the point where I wouldn't even let anyone touch me, let alone hug me. For some reason, my people decided to make a villain out of me. And I still don't know why. I still don't know the story.
It's always easier to say that there's something wrong with somebody else than looking at oneself.
Say again, Heinz?
It's always easier for them to say that there's something wrong with you than admit that there's something wrong with themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that, Heinz. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Synchronicity.
So it's been a really interesting experience going through all this and kind of tentatively feeling out, feeling out for support. And sincerity. I don't know how this would have gone had I not had you people to meet with every day. And what's interesting is I trust every single one of you. And that's been a very necessary part of my recovery. Each one of you has a huge part in this new life that I'm putting together. You're all people that I've never physically touched, but I've hugged each one of you. Many times.
So some scientists have proved that our heart what is it called? Makes an energy field around us that's like a donut, and it could be measured up to, was it 6 feet away? But then he just said, but that's with the instruments we got. He believes
Yep.
that they are all over the world, that our hearts actually touch each other each and every day.
Yeah, I forget the name of that electromagnetic donut too, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Scientists have proven a lot of the things that we are talking about, but they can't get it as the scientific community to actually support it.
Right, right.
They actually shown that we are projected from a higher self and everything, but the doctors who proved it, I don't think they're doctors anymore.
Yeah. So the thing is, what I'm saying is a lot of the physical relationships that I had that were supportive, that I was depending on, have been replaced by these energetic ones. And that kind of confounds me, because before it happened, I didn't even know it was possible. Like, I didn't know that this kind of connectedness was possible from a distance like this.
It's because we've been taught that everything is in the physical world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, until it started happening.
Yep.
Now I have family all over the globe.
And like I've been taught, we actually need those toxic people so we can evolve even further, because without the darkness, the light can't show.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's true, Heinz. Like, I've explored areas of reality that I never would have had access to had it not been for, certain other things breaking down.
Mm-hmm. But when it breaks down, it's no fun being in the tornado.
Well, no. There's
But-
cows in here.
Yeah.
In the tornado.
And then you see, oh my God, was that my house? And now it ain't a house anymore. Now it's
Yeah.
just rubble.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the
But,
tornado's starting to settle down, and I'm a totally different person.
Yep, and then
The one that
then
went
you get
into
to
it.
look, then you get to look around and see the natural beauty that it has created.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting fragments. Maybe it's what's has swirled around in a tornado. But I'm getting, Craig, that you said the word, this life that I'm designing. I'll get back to that, but before that, you it's like you really, really, really created a life before out of things that you thought were to be. But in building that life, you built a confinement that kept you contained from being free. And you expected it to give you something it couldn't, and it resented you in doing so to help
Yeah.
propel you past the confinements, past the confinements that you already centuries had been to, and now it was time for you to go. But your commitment of your heart and your commitment of what you grounded yourself to be true had to fray away. And then you were in this space where you didn't even know what was you. You had to begin to lay a meaning on foundations. I'm speaking to myself too. You had to lay new meanings on foundations that now you question and had to test. And even when they couldn't stand up to the test, the real thing is for you to trust yourself. Trust yourself without any preconceived definitions. How do you do that when you laid everything on foundations that were passed down to you so subliminally that you didn't even know that they were containing you, and you built on a quasi true foundation, but it wasn't a one that would sustain the expansion of the true that's really you. So now it's like this phase of going around and not trusting anything outside of you. Like you said, you trust all of us. That's great. That's wonderful. But we're really reflections back to the core of you, because you can choose anything of us. I mean, we could all be a figment of your imagination to support you choosing what is true. So you learning how to know what your desires are, knowing what your 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 thought structure is, that you choose it to be based on what you're perceiving, as naked as it is, and bringing in a new trust that's you. Like, you get to take out the old memory cards and the old program structures. You can like get rid of all of that. All of that is like really gone already, and you're very selectively designing what are you going to be made up of? What principles do you want to bring, because they're true for you, they resonate for you. So when I do see you and you hug me, I'm hugging the true you. But before any physicalness, it's true first. It's got to be true first.
Mm. Wow, little Cindy, there's a lot in that.
That's a hug.
Yeah,
Unconditional
no
hug.
kidding. No kidding. Oh,
And a beautiful true one of that. Wow.
You just wrote a chapter in my book.
I'm still feeling a low energy though, Craig. I'm still feeling a resonation of a low energy of your past. And
Yeah, I am too.
I'm saying from where this is coming from, with all love in my heart, I'm saying take every log of the past and put it in a bonfire and dance. Celebrate it. Celebrate that it was, because it is no more. Celebrate it. Put it in a bonfire, because it's brought you to this. Without that, you may have never known this. I may never know you. You may never be here. This is definitely a celebration, what we have here. But it's time to let that low resignation go. Carry the wisdom, but the emotions can be released. You're strong enough to be released. You don't need them any longer to keep justifying this new freedom.
I'll add something to what Sandral has said in terms of letting go. And when we honor that everything that there is in life is there for a purpose. Even when it feels like our hearts are ripped out of our bodies. But we just quietly honor what is with the trust and the faith that there will be enough learning and love that remains in the world. I found that mindset to be way more helpful for me.
Good morning, Pascal.
Morning, guys.
Thank you, Allison.
Morning, Pascal.
Morning, Allison.
We were talking about letting go.
Letting go to embrace the new. New. Otherwise, we'll just keep bringing the past in.
And like Sandra was saying, to recognize and for oneself to define what is your truth. And that for me, that helps authenticity. or it opens it up for authenticity. And authenticity brings the integrity of the structure of you.
Mhm.
And then
Yes.
you can move with that so much more, dare I say, gracefully, with real grace, which is in a way a pardoning. Doesn't mean you approve of other people's behavior, but you acknowledge that they've made choices as best as they could in the moments that they made them.
Yeah, how could they act any differently when they don't see things the way I do?
And they don't have to. And you don't have to see
No,
them the way they do. It's okay. Free will.
Okay. Okay, Pancho, it's time to let go.
There's a let go and then replace.
and the replacement is the truth of you. It's being able, to a large extent, I think, to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Know what you might choose if you were them. That's fine. But really have understanding of what led them to choose what they choose. And if you don't, just honor it. It's honoring what life is.
Which is the tension,
Yes.
honoring the tension of what is. We make up good or bad tension just in the view of what we want.
Yeah, we do.
What we expect, what we choose. I love letting go so much more than forgiveness.
Hmm. And there's value in both, hey, Jess.
Mhm.
Let go, we forgive ourselves.
Yes, Heinz. That's the first one that we have to start with, right?
And sometimes we don't even have to forgive. It's just acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Acceptance.
Absolutely.
Man, we're so hard on ourselves. Like, we got to forgive people. Who are we to really have to forgive anything or anybody except ourselves? Like, people got to live up to what I require of them in this life.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the one thing that's been really empowering for me throughout all this experience is that I have a new understanding with respect to my own superconscious self. Kind of from behind the scenes. Kind of directing the whole experience, orchestrating all of it. And it's taken me a while to learn to respect that. Like to acknowledge that my superconscious knows the way through all that unconscious conditioning.
You'd have to. Just the definition of it, right?
Yeah. Well, my attitude is changing because I used to resent that.
Hmm.
And I'm coming to realize that my superconscious self has my back. And I also know that I wouldn't have consciously chosen what I've lived through. Yeah, exactly.
Nor could you have ever imagined it.
No.
or even wanted it for anyone, let alone
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
That's why we can't envy other people's journey, or even judge it, as how was the phrase that Sindrell brought in just to trigger this.
Yeah, I have a
Like,
new understanding of the phrase, take up your cross and follow me.
is Alice in empathy, and his, what is it, to walk in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
That's as close as we could get to it. But it's still only ours projected into theirs. The
Ooh,
only one we know best is our own.
I think I got a new revelation to explore, of picking up your cross and follow me. What is the cross? It's those parts of life that you choose to design to be a part of you. You don't you don't have to pick up everybody else's cross. But what's your cross? What's my cross? But if you're picking it up, we get to choose what we pick up.
Yeah. Take our bag of sin with us.
I'll leave it behind. It's okay. It
Right?
serves.
Yes. But
Yeah, that's what's coming through to me too in a big way, is leave it behind.
yep. What do you want to bring it forth? You know, bring it out. Move with it. Let go. Forgive. Replace.
Yeah, and just coming back to me again too now, Sindrell. One of the first things you said in your response was the confinement. And what's coming to me now is let go of restraints, constraints. So you're helping me see the tapestry that's been created throughout my life. All of those experiences have created a grand design. It's not up to me that the players that brought me to this point don't want to play anymore.
You don't want to play anymore with them. It's okay. Take accountability for what you want. You don't want it anymore. It's okay. They don't want to play anymore. It's okay for them to leave the field. They don't want to play anymore. But you don't get to be the one left. When you don't want to play anymore, leave. You don't have to worry about anybody being offended, even though you may have been offended because someone left you on the field. But a lot of people don't go through the same emotions that we go through.
Yeah, that's true.
Which means we don't go through their emotions.
That's true.
But we sure like to put them on them, put ours on them. That's how we make sense of things.
Yeah. And sometimes we let them put their stuff on us. Like
Oh
we're
boy, yes.
skeptical for it.
Well, and there's the error right there. Is trying to make sense of that.
Mhm. The whole air is making sense of it.
My cousin's picture came up to me in memories, and he would always say, "Ma, it is what it is." I didn't even know he was as wise as he was, but it's true.
Yeah. Tension is just what it is. All we're trying to do, our tendency is to get away from it, out of it, avoid it, change it.
So when you said that, Jesse, I see an expression of tension being more like a pulley rope instead of just tension, like something to avoid. Because in the tension, we bring ourselves to, or bring to ourselves, that which we want, as long as we continue in the engagement of the tension. You're either
Yes.
going to go forward or backward. So I've been backward. I'm forward. Let's do forward.
You think about it, all the backwards has been because we fought it. We tried to get around it, outside of it. We thought we wanted something and we go for it that way, or we thought we saw it some way. In all reality, we just keep playing our patterns.
So
Yeah,
go ahead.
what we tend to do is engage with other people's tensions as if they're ours.
So right there, right in that. So I'm engaging in communication of a relationship, right? And they say things that I think that they're trying to define me. And I go, whoa, wait a minute. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. What you just said is not my truth. Now, I understand that you could have perceived it that way, but let me tell you who I am today. So I'm standing in my truth. And even in sitting in the tension, it's requiring me to take the time to not just give my truth, because my truth is still evolving and I have to be honest about that. But the core of my truth, the premise of my truth, I will not allow someone to define me in what it is. Now, in the past, I would say, oh, that's lovely. I'll be that. No, now my t-shirt says, hell no, not today. I'll tell you who I am. I'll represent myself. And if I'm not ready to cast a vote, I can sustain until I know. But it's going to be it's my truth. It's fun. And then I get to see who other people are, how they can relate or respond or interact or not. But at least I'm giving them my truth to engage with, and not a facade of their imagination.
addressing the patterns. And when we address our pattern, confront it, I don't know, but call it to the truth.
Yeah.
And everyone, in a way, has to look at theirs. It brings the awareness to something different. It's the only thing we pay attention to.
I'll be going now. You all have a blessed day. Love and hugs.
Thanks, Heinz.
Big
Bye,
hug,
Heinz.
Heinz.
Bye, thanks.
Hey, Heinz, love and hugs.
Bye.
Yeah, I am standing at a point of power, of empowerment to confront my patterns. And it's funny, delightfully funny, that it's like putting on a shoe that doesn't fit anymore. It's like, how did I ever wear this thing? This thing is a size 4. I'm not a size 4.
Morning.
Pattern.
And that's awareness, right? It's like, oh, look at that pattern. Look at that size 4. Look at what that did. And I didn't look at the outcomes that I was unaware of. Look at the other patterns that were engaged with it. Look at what it could have been doing. And I thought it was fine. I didn't know any different. That's fine in the moment. We did what was best in the moment. The tension is to reveal what we need to change. What we need to learn, experience, engage with, live with. It's just the tension. And then trusting that what is on the other side is better. Not in the moment.
Yeah, we got to be on the both sides of the spectrum. So we got to be on the giving and the receiving part. So if I've been in a fight and then I punch someone in the face, well, I would never know how to feel until I get punched in the face. So, RJ in one of his class, like he talked about that in the 7 frequency, like there's no others. There's no other people. There's no others. We're just so clueless in the first 3 dimension, first 3 frequency here. And when you have like, say, a conflict with someone, it's like, and then like it doesn't fit your shoe, like Sindra says, then it just means that like you outgrow this part of you, and it's time to let go. You know, are you going to be dragging these friends that don't even resonate with you anymore? Or are you just going to let them go and like be on their path, because it's not fair for them either? And it's not like you're better or worse than them. You're just on a different path. You like blue ice cream, they like orange. Doesn't mean they're not ice cream. They're just like different flavor. So I play with that a lot, that there's no other. Because every time I say other, then like I create a separation. And they're part of me, and I'm part of them. So
Yeah, thank you, Pascal.
where is? That's just one perception.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
And it
dwelling.
isn't the others. And it isn't the others.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sorry, Sandro.
I like the way Pascal brings in the science of things. So thank you. And you talked about in the seventh. Is that like a seventh realm? That there's
It's
only
frequency.
the frequency. Okay.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
and that's where all oneness is one frequency.
Yeah, because like, like you hear that a lot, like we're moving to the third dimension to the fifth dimension. You hear that a lot, and he says like, that is not correct. It's the step in the right direction, but it's not. Like we exist frequentially, not dimensionally.
Sequentially?
No, frequentially.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
frequency.
yes.
Frequency. And like dimension, house, frequency. So he says like, your higher self might reside like in like fourth dimension, maybe fifth, and an ascendant master will be like 7. But like, and then he mentioned like, I don't know if it's really important to say that, but like there's like 12 frequency in the first dimension. First full dimension is 12 frequency. And then because it's so dense, so the first 3 frequency, so we know it's the height, width, and so like the 3 dimension or 3, yeah, we call it 3 dimension, but it's 3 frequency like tied together. So we're moving from like the 3rd frequency to the 4th frequency, and then the 5th, and so on. But he says like when you get to the 7th frequency, you'll realize that there's no other. So every time you hurt someone, you're hurting yourself. And I had to reflect on my life, like say taking advantage of people. And I didn't realize that I was taking advantage of people, or had like a slight clue until it was done to me. So it's just a reflection of a mirror. Or when it was done to me, oh boy, does it ever hurt? But then you're like, I create this. To learn about myself. Know thyself. Every time you get to a situation that is hard, or difficult, my practice is step back and be like, I create this. Why did I create this? What do I have to learn about myself? Instead than projecting on others, you would say.
Yeah, that's what I call what is and acknowledging the tension. What do I have to learn in it? What's there to be brought into existence to know?
Mm,
Yeah.
well, I have to drop into the third through fifth dimension to handle some earthly realm stuff. So
Yeah.
I'm empowered. Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Sindrell.
Yeah, you
Bye-bye.
too.
Thank you, Cinderell. Big time, big hug. So the question that came to me, Pascal, I wonder why I created this.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing dialogue back and forth between my conscious self and my superconscious self.
Yeah, and it's most likely is a pattern that you just need to let go. And we do so many things unconsciously. Like, I had an example yesterday that this girl, like, she was on the Zoom call, and then she closed the door, because she always do, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not like it's good or bad or whatever, but like, she questioned herself. She was like, oh, why did I close the door? It was maybe like because like she doesn't want people to hear what she has to say. But then that's just a justification. Then why I don't want people to hear what I have to say? What do I have to hide? You know?
Yeah.
Or do I not feel secure in my room if like the door is open? Go really to the core motivation. And then you might get to like, oh, when I was young, like I always closed my door because like I hear like my parents yelling, for example. It can be anything, right?
Yeah.
But until you question the questioner, then you're always going to recycle the same experience. And you're always going to behave the exact same way. And there's simple behavior that you take like, oh, it doesn't harm anybody. Close my door. No, it doesn't. But it might uncover very deep truth about yourself.
It does if you allow it to.
Yeah. And if you question it too.
That's right. That's right. And it's not like there's a right answer.
No. And everybody will have a different answer.
That's right. Of course they will. And that is perfect.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
be that way. Even though we expect it to be different. Which is just our own pattern of why do I want it to be this way? Why do I want it to be this way for them?
Yeah.
And it's both in the positive and in the positive, like both in the negative and in the positive realm.
Yeah. And the thing, like, when you like start dumping like all your knowingness on someone, like not even just knowledge, like knowing that you're like, this is true. This is true for me. And I know it's gonna help you. Well, you're
Right there.
probably doing this service to someone because like they're not ready to receive it.
Yeah.
And they have to go through a lot of like turmoil to get to that point.
Who am I to say they need help?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're perfect at where they at. Right? Yeah, that's just another thing, right?
Yep.
We think we're good, but like, oh, they need help.
Yes, we do. That is such a pattern. That is
Right?
such a deep pattern. I don't need it. You do. Yes,
Yeah.
that is a pattern.
You should go for counseling. Well, if
Yes,
you
but I'm not
recognize that
going
they
to.
need to go to counseling, then you need to.
I need your help. Right. I need your help with counseling. Yes. No. You're the problem. Yes. I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But we have a pattern.
Yeah.
I'm speaking here. I don't want that pattern. I want to let that go. I want to leave it behind. I want to create new patterns. No,
Yeah.
defenses come up for that for sure. Oh, just notice
Yeah.
the defense, right? The defense is the tension. Oh, well, I can hear it. I can see it. It's so much easier to see it in other people than in ourselves, though, too.
Oh yeah.
I wish I had an. Well, it's like the fish, right? The fish doesn't know what it's like to sit in a tree.
Right.
Mm.
Or it's like, how's the water, fish? That's
Yeah.
a better one. How's the water, fish?
Yeah. Hey, you guys ever watch like I watched that last night. They Live is a movie in 1988.
And it was
And
called They Live. They Live.
They Live. They Live. Yeah. I don't know if there's
We're
an
going
S at
way back.
Live. Yeah, 1988. And it's funny because like it kind of show what's happening right now. You know, like it's pretty kind of violent in a sense, but at the same time, it's like because as soon as you put these glasses, these black sunglasses, like he sees the truth.
Mm.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So Even my wife didn't mind it. So
Well,
1988, my kids would go crazy trying to watch a 1988 film.
but it's actually, well, like, I mean, like, you know, the action part, you can see like it's they're not hitting each other. You know, bang, bang, and then like the music, like it's just good because the music, it just stays the same almost through the whole movie. You know,
How did you watch it? What did you use to watch it? What was it on?
I watched it on YouTube.
YouTube.
Um,
Okay.
but the thing, like, if you don't have like a VPN, you won't be able to watch it. Like, if you put your VPN for United States or Canada,
Gotcha.
which is interesting to me.
You
So I
won't be able
put
to watch it if you did
Indonesia.
that? Oh, really?
Eh?
Okay.
Yeah, they
Ah,
don't
so
let you.
yeah,
Yeah, they
gotcha.
say it's not allowed like in your country or something. So I put
Gotcha.
Indonesia, and then like apparently you're allowed in, in Indonesia.
There you go.
So there's always a little loophole, eh?
Always.
So yeah, no, it was interesting. It was entertaining yesterday, you know, to say the least.
Entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, the last hour and a half, like, of the day is kind of my time when Kai is sleeping, and
Mhm.
you know, and I'm just with my wife. So that's
Yeah.
when I allow myself to watch a movie or series or whatever.
Yeah.
I've been binge watch actually, like Blacklist.
oh
You guys
yeah.
watched that before? Holy shit, that's a good a good show. I mean, it's cruel as hell, but like the story is just fantastic. And James Spen James Spenner or Speller or something, main actor. Like just the way he talks is like, man, don't miss a beat. It's just yeah, very nice and twisted series. So, but like I'm you know, I like series that they're like 8, 10 episode and that's it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
but this one, uh, there's 10 season, and I'm at the first one, and there's 22 episode per season.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
You'll be binging for a while.
yeah. No kidding. No kidding.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Until I realized it was the same story over again, just changed the flavor.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
That's TV, right? TV.
Oh
Same
yeah,
thing every week.
yeah, yeah. Just a different serial killer and
Yeah.
different twists and yeah,
Different twists, but still
yeah,
the hero's journey.
yeah,
It's like Criminal Minds. I used to binge Criminal Minds,
right.
but it was very enlightening.
Yeah.
'Cause I saw things about myself that I wouldn't have seen otherwise, probably.
But that's just it, right? Like when you watch a series or a TV with different eyes based on your experience, it just changed the whole movie. It's just crazy, you know? They're like, oh, they're showing this already, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why old movie, like they have to show what's happening right now. You know? That's kind of an agreement. You know, they have to tell you like what's gonna happen. So, but yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm back to my destination and back to work.
Oh man, back to work, huh?
Well,
Back at
to
the
Are ya?
house. Yeah, back at the
no.
house.
Just back to the house and taking care of Kai.
That's right.
You know.
Not vacation yet.
Oh, I have a funny one to tell you before I leave. So, the other day must have been like 3-4 days, and I'm just with Kai, and then I know that like my wife will be there probably like an hour and a half at the most, right? So I'm like, okay, let's have some fun together, right? So I had some psychedelic mushroom, and it's to me like it's not like getting drunk, you know, like it just connect me so much deeper with everything around me, and like they're just so old. It's just the whole this thing, right? So I'm like, oh, probably not potent anyway, but whatever. So I wait about like it always usually kick in like maybe like an hour, and it did, you know, and then I was like so connected with my son. It was not even funny. Like I didn't feel like it was like I was talking, like there's no other. It was just one, you know. And then we were laughing, like, you know, it was a hard time like just to go to bed because like we're having so much fun. And everything was going plan, right? Like I fed him, like I gave him his bath, like everything was just flawlessly. And I remember like RJ, like in one of his class, he says like when you're like in that kind of like state, or like you let go a pattern, then ask yourself what else is possible for you? What else is possible for you? So anyways, I'm on the bed, I'm on like, you know, just feeding him with the bottle. And he had a nice meal, everything went well. And then like I'm like, and I'm in such a gratitude like with him, right? And I'm like, what else is possible for me? What else is possible for me? What else is possible? And nothing happened, right? And then like we kept like playing, having fun. And then I said one more time, I said, what else is possible for me? And then like he goes like like all over. Like he started puking everywhere. I was like, oh my God, no. So I
You
grab
asked.
him. Yeah, exactly. So I grab him and then like I put his head, like I didn't even think about like the toilet, but like I go in the sink and then like I put his head in the sink and then like he just the whole dinner, everything that I gave him, right? And like don't even think again. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I think it's gonna go through like the sink, right? No, it makes such a big soup. So now I've got Kai that he's covered, you know, and then like the sink is full of, you know what? And, like I'm like, oh my God. So I undress him, like now he's naked on the floor. I got like puke everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, I guess I asked. Yeah, that's what's possible. Yeah.
It showed up quick.
Yeah. Manifest really quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't mean it's always going to be good, even though we are expecting it to be.
exactly. Yeah. But like it really showed me too, like how much I grow because like I was just like, and you know, I think Sindra was saying like it is what it is. I used to say that all the time growing up. It is what it is. It is what it is. And that's what it was. Like, you know, it is what it is. Like, what can I do? Like, even if I get angry about it or whatever, apparently I create this, right? So it is what it is. And let's leave it at that. All right,
We'll
guys,
leave
have
it
a
at that.
wonderful day.
Thanks to you guys too.
All righty.
Okay,
Bye,
take
Craig.
care.
Okay,
Love
love
you
and hugs,
all.
everybody.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Hey, Pascal, I think he made you host. You're gonna have to shut it down.
Just oh, I gotta shut it off.
Yep.
Okay. Bye, Craig.